Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dasch Cast. I am Curtis Dasch, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host, Brandon Colongo. Brandon, say hello.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
All right, guys, we got a Jacksonville special. We're going to be talking about all the Jags, everything to do with them after their very poor 1-15 season. It does accumulate with the number one pick, however. They do have a ton of cap room coming into this season. They have several picks. So the Jags could definitely be a very different team in 2021. Let's go ahead and start with the fact that they were 1-15. All right, so obviously you never want to lose 15 straight. I get it. Getting the number one pick is cool, and I think we did learn a couple of things about the Jaguars, and there were a couple of stars, I would say, that shine fairly brightly on an otherwise abysmal Jaguars team. Obviously, I would love to say Gardner Minshew would have been one of those stars, but his fall off is something we have to talk about because the team literally gave everything away so he would have no help.
Exactly.
But, you still got to try to put up some numbers, and him or Glennon just couldn't do it. Shark was injured a lot of the year, too. I know that didn't particularly help. But a lot of those games that they had lost, it seemed they were competitive for at least a quarter or a half before just getting throttled most of the time. And you could say that about almost any NFL team. Oh, yeah, they're competitive for a half, but what happens in the other half? I get it. The thing about the Jags now is after that 1-15 season is they don't have a coach, they don't have a GM, but you have somebody, well, one guy in particular in mind, and he's the only guy for the job. And who is that, Brandon?
I sure do. And I will tell you all right after you smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm and leave us a comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, hit the notification bell. There's one man and one man only for this job. And the Dallas Cowboys missed out on him last year, and that is Urban Meyer. The guy is a winner everywhere he's been. He brought my Gators national championships, left the scene, came back, took Ohio State to the national championship. I'm so tired of teams trying to go out and get guys. Oh, they've done it before, but they had like a pretty mediocre career throughout. I mean, the only person I've seen that really work with is Belichick, where he had kind of a mediocre career and then Tom Brady falls into his lap, and obviously the rest is history. I want us to go out and get a proven winner. I don't care if it was at the college level. I don't care if, like even a Nick Saban. But I want a big move. I want it because you got a big move. You've got Trevor Lawrence on his way.
Yeah,
if we keep Minshew, to me, Minshew is the best backup quarterback in the NFL. So we would be super deep at quarterback. We have a chance now with the 25th pick to take an offensive lineman. The mock draft does have us taking an offensive lineman out of Texas. So we have all the makings of a lot of draft capital, a lot of salary cap space. Obviously you don't have the state income tax here,
which is very nice.
So you get to keep most of the money. Whereas, as great as that LA Chargers job looks with Herbert, they're going to take more than half your money. So, and whatever contract you get, you get to keep more of it. You have to look at the final take-home pay of the contract.
I mean, I know that was a big thing a lot of people were talking about when Dwight Howard, I know this is a separate sport, but when Dwight Howard in the NBA was a free agent several years ago, that was a big thing about where he was going to go because, if he went to Team A, he might not get as much money as if he went to Team B. And, obviously when you're making millions upon millions of dollars and you got an offer to make $20 million more, you might want to take it. You never know. The thing about Urban Meyer, I agree on almost 100. I think I agree with 100% of what you said. The guy's a proven winner. He's 187-32 in his overall career. All right. In bowl games, he's 12-3 or something, which is great. Yeah, he's 12-3, which is great.
That's outrageous.
Granted, if I remember correctly, those 3 losses were blowouts. And, well, I know 2 of those were, because I believe 2 of those were at OSU, and that's the thing about Ohio State.
Happens to all the greats.
We'll get into that in our Ohio State and Bama special here, because I've got a little bit to say on the whole Ohio State thing. But Urban Meyer's a proven winner. Like you're saying, he's a proven winner. And Jacksonville needs – this is a time where you do not go out and get a guy that has never had a job. This is not a time to hire your Sean McVay or your Matt LaFleur. This is your time where, you need your Bill Belichick or you need your Sean Payton or, any of those guys.
Someone with the guts to go out and make a big move.
You need some guy who's not afraid. I mean, obviously Tom Coughlin kind of was that guy, and I think a lot of people thought he was going to be that guy. With what
Too old school though.
Exactly.
He couldn't take on the new mentality. You have to kind of change with the times a little bit in this soft everybody gets a trophy era.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. It's all about adaptability, and if you're going to adapt better,
Yep.
you're going to be better. That's just how it is, and I think he's a good fit for the job, especially with what he's going to bring. However, their GM opening is kind of strange to me. That's an important position, and here is why. That's 60, like they have 63 million. I think when I looked at their cap number, they had 75 million or something like that. Obviously, they're going to have to sign their rookie contract, so that's going to be a little less. I think it's going to be like something like 60 million. That's a lot of cap money. If you go and spend that on something stupid, like I don't know, I can't think of like a wide receiver for 5 years, like a Juju Smith-Schuster right now, who is a free agent, an unrestricted free agent.
No.
If the Jags go out and give him 20 mil a year or something stupid because they didn't hire a smart GM, this is going to be one of those moments where it didn't matter if you're going to have Urban Meyer or not.
So here's where I can almost say that Urban Meyer would buy us some time on the GM sector. Because of his college experience in recruiting, I think he can almost double as a GM in a way,
I was
at
thinking
least
the same.
for a time being until we can get someone that's a proven commodity.
And I was kind of thinking the same. It's just that cap number, having all that room, a lot of teams would really like that right now. And now that Jacksonville actually has the ability, and you're going to have talent to couple with that cap money, having, obviously Shark. It's not that the Jacksonville Jaguars do not have talented players on their roster as it is. They just don't
we
have
actually,
enough.
and you kind of glanced over this when you were being a little hard on Minshew, in my opinion. The Jags were fully intending on tanking this season. We went out that first game not realizing how much grit and guts some of our players have, and they actually beat the playoff Colts. Granted, that was Phillip Rivers' first year, no OTAs, no training camp, yada yada. That does make a huge difference if you saw what the Saints did with Tampa Bay. So I get all that, but then the Jags wised up and they said, "Oh no, if we're not careful, we're about to go 7-9." And then they slowly but surely started clearing house. And then they left Minshew with no weapons towards the end and an injured Shark, and it got ugly. However, Minshew has proven that he could win in this league. He is going to be the best backup if we can keep him.
I think another thing about the Jags is, as well, with Shark obviously being hurt, that didn't help, and Robinson, who had a kind of a breakout end of the season and then kind of got hurt at the
Weak
end there.
protection,
It's
terrible defense.
It's the fact that this team. Imagine if they would have won 7 games and then went 1-15 this coming season and missed out on Trevor Lawrence. It's obviously it's all about timing, and having Trevor Lawrence is going to be huge. It's just they have to couple him and they have to protect him. I think bringing in Urban Meyer to work with a young QB is brilliant. Like you said, he's done wonders with Tim Tebow, another young quarterback who was astounding and has a statue. I mean, come on. I think the Jags have a very good chance. Their schedule is a little favorable. They're going to the NFC West and the AFC North. So obviously facing the Bills and the Dolphins aren't going to be a ton of fun, but the Patriots, who knows what they're going to look like next season.
Fully relies on if Cam's going to be there.
And the
because
Jets.
Cam has made that New England team look way better than they are.
I mean, those are very winnable games. And then, the Cincinnati Bengals is another team they're facing, and the Rams. Like, who knows? A lot of these teams, I feel like, can be beat. Like Houston, you play them twice next year. Who knows? Obviously, you play them twice every year. Who knows if they're going to have Deshaun Watson? I feel like the Jags are in a really good position to do some positive things. And
Yeah,
for
I think
once,
Watson's out of there. He's at least disgruntled for now.
I mean, yeah, for the Jags fans' sake, I hope he goes, just not to the NFC, and please not to the NFC North. Just, God, no. That'd be no fun. I think a lot of these teams, they got to do something with the draft picks. They have to do something with their cap. What do they do with their cap? I don't know. Go get a lineman. You can't really go wrong with a lineman. I just don't know if there are any really big free agent linemen right now. I probably should have looked at that. Or maybe grab a tackle, a D tackle. You can never really go wrong with either of those picks, but are those picks you want to dump a ton of money into? Or players, that you want to dump a ton of money into? I don't know.
I want to see what we do in this draft. I really hope we can get it right on the draft.
I mean, the first pick, obviously, being if it's not.
We've
Trevor
never had
Lawrence,
an easier first pick in our life.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I think actually the mayor, Lenny Curry, said this as well. Jacksonville's really never had a franchise quarterback. They had they've never had an opportunity like this
Right.
to
This
grab
is
a
huge.
franchise quarterback. So this
Yeah.
is not only is it huge for them. I mean, this is huge for Jacksonville. It's going to
It's
sell
funny
tickets.
too. Last year when we won that first game, I was saying let's go and try and make a run for the playoffs, just because I didn't realize the Colts were going to be as good as they were.
Same.
I would have been okay if we would have found a way to get Trask in the draft, because I think we would have. So I would have been cool with that too, actually. But who knows? We would have probably tried to take that guy from BYU. We would have done something stupid. We would have, Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields would have been gone. We would have taken like Zach Wilson or Trey Lance, and we would have missed on Mac Jones or Kyle Trask somehow. So I'm glad that as sad as it was to watch us go 1-15, I'm glad that we have a nice pick in the basket.
Well, in closing, I'll just say two things. One, hey, 1-15 is always better than 0-16. Thank you, 08 Detroit Lions, and Browns
Go
have come a long
Jags.
way in 11 years. And of course, go Jags. Please like, comment, subscribe, tell Brandon that Rodgers is better than Brady, and we'll see you next clip.